Hi, I'm Molly Giordano, and you are watching Arts Alive Delaware. The primary role of the Delaware Art Museum is the premier visual arts organization in our state. We, of course, are here to protect, preserve, and educate our community around our collection, much of which has been given to us by the community. But we're also a place to foster connections, to invite people in to have social experiences around art, to provide educational opportunities for our school students and our youth. And I firmly believe that the Delaware Art Museum is one of the most important places in the state that you have access to original artistic content, and you can interact with many different diverse community members. The Delaware Art Museum is located near Rockford Park, and we have a beautiful campus, a sprawling sculpture garden, the only real sculpture park in the state. We're in a beautiful residential neighborhood. It's the perfect place for a relaxing afternoon. The museum's primary audience is the Delaware community, and we mean our full and diverse community. We serve everyone from infants up through people in their 80s and 90s. We even have some supporters in their 100s. Our primary purpose is to provide educational experiences for all age groups, social interactions through art, and a chance for people to experience the visual arts in our community, including the history of the art in our community. When you arrive at the Delaware Art Museum, you can enter two ways. You can come through our historic arches that signify the original building built in 1937, or you can park behind the museum and meander through our beautiful sculpture garden. Once you're inside, our main entry hall and our orientation space welcomes visitors to understand not only the history of the museum and our founding collections, but you'll meet some of the diverse community members in our orientation video that are welcoming you in and explaining why they care about the museum. From there, you can explore any number of our permanent collection galleries, from Howard Pyle, the founding artist of our collection, up through our massive contemporary space where we house both regional and nationally famous contemporary American artists. We also have a fantastic temporary exhibition space where we host 3 very large rotating exhibitions each year, as well as a Kids Corner. Kids Corner is personally the favorite of my 2 children. It's a hands-on, interactive, experiential space that is created by a local artistic family. And we are so excited that we've just hired a new family in residence, so be on the lookout later this year or early next year for a new installation. We also have a cafe, a store, and just many other vibrant spaces for gathering. The museum sculpture garden, again, the only of its kind in the state, is where we are showcasing both regional artists as well as national artists. There's something for everybody in this garden, whether it's our iconic Crying Giant sculpture by Tom Otterness that greets visitors as soon as they drive onto our property, or some of the more hidden gem pieces that are farther along the sculpture garden trail. We also have a labyrinth, an old water reservoir that volunteers lovingly hand-created a stone labyrinth for meditation and reflection. People are always amazed when they come to the sculpture garden that there's an experience like this in Delaware. And of course, we lean on that space for our social events, our community events, and an entry point to introduce our community to the museum. The museum runs many community events each year, from our summer Thursday evening free happy hours in the sculpture garden, which are a family-friendly opportunity to engage with the art and to come inside during our extended free hours to see our collection and exhibitions, to our special community festivals and programs. This summer, we had a Juneteenth celebration, our 2nd annual powwow for arts and culture, created in partnership with our Indigenous leaders. In the fall, we return with Dia de los Muertos and many other community festivals and activities. The thing I love about the Delaware Art Museum is we are one of the leading arts organizations in the state and the leading visual arts organization for our community. It is not only our role, but it is our job to partner with diverse and wide array of organizations, both arts and non-arts, to make sure that we are fully reflecting the culture of our communities here at the museum. So we work hand in hand with advisory committees on special exhibitions, such as our 2021 Afro-American Images exhibition, to our large events like the Powwow of Arts and Culture. We could not do any of these activities without the full partnership and support of our community. Like always, the fall is a very busy time at the Delaware Art Museum. This fall is very special. This museum has one of the largest collections of British pre-Raphaelite art in the world, thanks to Wilmington industrialist Samuel Bancroft, who bequeathed his collection almost 100 years ago. There are so many ways to get involved with the Delaware Art Museum. You, of course, can join us as a member. We rely on memberships to support this institution. You can follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, sign up for our email list, visit delart.org to book your next program, class, summer camp experience, or just show up. Just show up to the museum, talk to somebody at the front desk. We always say Delaware is a state of neighbors, and the Delaware Art Museum is no different. We are very accessible and always eager to meet people who want to get involved. I moved to Delaware because of its culture. In such a small community, we have access to robust arts and culture organizations. It's not a given that these organizations will continue forever if the community doesn't work in partnership, hand in hand with our cultural assets like the Delaware Art Museum to find a way to support them. I would always ask community members to ask yourself, what would my life look like if the Art Museum, the Symphony, any number of organizations you love weren't here? How would this impact the quality of our life? What would our state look like? And that is the answer to why you should support the arts. The arts have impacted my own life in more ways than I can count. My mother was an artist. She ran a community art center in my hometown in West Virginia. In many ways, I was raised at that community art center. I'm a writer, I write fiction. My brother writes plays. The arts is just deeply in the bones of who we are and how I view the world. And I see the arts as a public service. When you ask people, what would you do if you didn't have to worry about money? 9 times out of 10, they describe the artistic passion or pursuit they would spend their time on. I think in all of us, the arts is critical and it's important. And the Art Museum is where everybody, no matter your background, can have that experience.